Hey, Kyle, I saw Spider-Man.
Ah, yes, you did. How was it?
My favorite part. Oh man, I had a lot of favorite parts actually, but my favorite part that relates to you is going back about it may have been 2 or 3 weeks ago that
Mhm.
Alan on the Bats and Bones show says, Kyle, I'm going to ask you a yes or no question, and I want you to blink once if it's yes and twice if it's no, so it's not spoiled on stream. Alan asked you, is Venom in the movie? And your answer was, that's not a yes or no question.
And it wasn't.
They, yeah. That was yeah. My favorite part, I'm going to do spoiler dance because I don't want to wreck it for anyone who hasn't gonna seen it. But what I liked about it is that it did talk about all of the Spider-Man movies that have ever been, and kind of looked at it's like, what if you just? It was like, what if you just the movie? And I liked that.
Wait, explain what you mean by what if you just.
I don't know if I can. I feel like that's just vague enough. I mean, like, okay, so the movie. All right, I think I've got this. All right, so the movie would introduce a scenario, and the scenario would harken back to previous movies, and the movie would look at the scenario from the previous movies and say, well, why didn't you just?
Mm-hmm.
And then it did that. And you're just like, oh yeah, why didn't you just do that? There is one. All right, there's one thing, and it is a mild spoiler about a person who's in the movie. I'm going to talk about a person and a character who's in the movie and something that happens to them very early. And this will be about the spoilerist thing I say. William Dafoe plays the Green Goblin. And early in the movie, he smashes his Green Goblin mask. I was very pleased that happened, because William Dafoe has a face. William Dafoe has a wild, crazy face with which he acts visually. Mm-hmm. And so when I remember back in the day when we heard that William Dafoe was going to play the Green Goblin, I was like, excellent. That's a great idea. He's got a face made for evil. And then they just spent the entire movie with him having the stupid mask on. Mm-hmm. And in this, he pops in, and then he just smashes that mask on him. It's like, perfect. Which means for the rest of the movie, you won't have a mask on.
I do think that was a very good touch.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I can wrap up with this and then hand it to you. Is that's basically the gist of the movie? Is that like if an old movie made a mistake, this movie's like, let's just there we go, handled that mistake. So that's much better. Mm-hmm. Zubats confesses he's never seen a Spider-Man. Great news for you. You only need to watch one now. Granted, how did Robo Leader say it? He said like, yeah, you only need to watch one Spider-Man. It's just somewhat enhanced if you also watched 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, and 2.
Yeah,
and then I continued on. But you do also need to watch some of the spin-offs. Spider-Man 1.6, The Strange Doctor, Spider-Man 1.6 or 1.8A. And 1.8B, the Avengers ones. And don't forget all of the Iron Man spin-off prequels.
Yes.
Spider-Man's a big franchise, guys. Fable says he was super fun too. Like his condition for being in the movie was that he got to be in fight scenes, do his own stunts, and not just be a cameo. So that was fun. That was cool.
Yeah.
I think also, the fun thing that I can shift so that we're no longer talking spoilers is what you mentioned about the mask, because that's been happening a lot, not just with the rise of superhero movies being a thing, but a big one is the Mandalorian.
Not allowed to take off the
Because-
mask, except sometimes.
Well, they very much they have to do this delicate dance because part of the Mandalorian that they're trying to get is the cool, mysterious, always wears the helmet guy, but also they've got good actors playing these Mandalorians. Particularly, they got the guy who played Jango Fett to play Boba Fett, and that's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
So they kind of they had some writing bullshit they needed to do to work around it, and it's not that they always have the helmet off. They do a good job keeping the helmet on, but also giving the actors time to act. This also takes me back to an anime you haven't seen, but My Hero Academia. Something I found very interesting is all of the characters.
I hear Macadamia is very good.
All the characters do have masks and helmets incorporated into their character designs, but they almost never wear them after like their introduction, and it's kind of because of Shonen Jump's like really strong rules on character design.
Huh.
I actually remember D. Greyman, my favorite manga. There's a particular scene where the main character is disguised as a clown. And like the editor was panicking, like you're gonna have your shonen protagonist not recognizable? What? No,
How dare you?
You can't do that. It's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. No, but you can't though.
Yeah, I've heard Macadamia is a really good anime.
I quite like